Last time I covered using a cube to be able to sketch some more complex things. Welcome back to the boot camp, by the way. I'm Spencer Nugent. We use a cube to sketch more complex things like a car. And today I want to show you some other tools, tips, tricks that you can use to sketch other objects as well. And it's really just about two things, all right, two ideas. I'm going to show you both of them. First is when in doubt, rough it out. The next is light until you get it right. Of course, I talk about both of these things in my books, the Perspective Drawing Guide right here, as well as Sketch Every Damn Day. Both of these are available either through my publisher website at Rocky Nook or at your favorite book retailer. All right. So the two ideas again, when in doubt, rough it out, and light until you get it right. So let's take a look at both of those. So the idea of when in doubt, rough it out really just has to do with lowering the pressure, the temperature to have a perfect sketch when you start drawing something. So let's say, for example, I'm drawing maybe a shoe. All right, I'm going to pick some objects that people like to do that may be a little bit more complicated. So roughing out something could be as simple as drawing the object with even straight lines as much as you're able and creating a silhouette that works. Something like this you could consider to be roughing out your idea. And then maybe on the back side here, I start thinking about the tooling for the shoe. Of course, when I say tooling, I mean the bottom of the shoe. But of course, all of this being done in perspective. All right, there is a framework for this where you can see these two lines, right, converge to some point off in a distance, and these 2 points here converge, or these two lines rather, virtual, converge to some point off in the distance. All of this is still roughing out your sketch, even if you have to use construction lines. The idea being, I can, if I need to measure something like how wide is this shoe, maybe I have a curve like this in the back, right? And I come up to the top, and this looks like a very flat line, but in truth, this line is probably more like an ellipse, okay? So I have two lines coming up here, center line maybe, center line going through the shoe. And you can see, right? Hopefully you can see there's some logic and reason to all of this, right? There's the base of the shoe. If I were to take a laser knife and cut through the shoe, I might end up with a cross section like this. Here's my cross section, for example. But you can take things like this, even with a cross section that's sketched in rough, and we have that silhouette. And if your paper happens to be thin enough, I like to use tracing paper, marker paper, or cheap printer paper because you're just practicing. You don't need to have the most expensive nice thing. And you can maybe barely see here. Let me see if my camera can help us out a little bit. But you can barely see some of the sketch lines underneath. I can see them just fine. So again, if you can find some paper that's a little bit translucent, that helps. Alternatively, if you have something like a light table, that can work. So I'm just starting with the tooling here, maybe with the outside shape, kind of getting that curve in. This is something I might do several times throughout the process, by the way. But there is my tooling, okay? Being the outsole and the midsole of the shoe. This stuff right here is the midsole, and this is the outsole. All right, for those who might be more aware of shoe design. And then for the upper, right, now I can start to add some curves and maybe decide that the throat of my shoe has some shape. This is still a rough sketch. See how these lines are not perfect? This is still a rough sketch. And what you might find is that as you do this, you might have to make some changes to your design along the way. This is the beautiful thing about just roughing it out. Here I have some reinforcement on the toe. And now I want to kind of figure out, okay, what does the eye stay, right, where the laces go? What does that look like? And maybe how does that integrate into the overall design of the shoe? Maybe I want to do something creative and have some laces here, for example. Now, I haven't sketched a shoe for a minute, so I'm just being a little bit creative here. But the point being, even as you do this, right, I can see, for example, that as I'm sketching, all right, this height right here feels a little bit off, feels a little too thick to me. So I might change that in my final sketch, or maybe even a tooling, adding some more details to the design here. Okay, this could be a separate part, or maybe from the midsole, I have an additional part that comes up like so. And this reminds me of the Nike Presto series of shoes, but I could have something like a Velcro strap. This is just a convenient way for me to hide some of the laces, honestly, so I don't have to sketch all of them. But I might have a little Velcro strap right there. All of this is being built, right, on the perspective drawing that is rough. When in doubt, rough it out. And here on the outsole, maybe I want to integrate into the design this kind of maybe gesture, right? This just gesture of the strap and this section here. This could be related to some sort of enhanced cushioning. I don't know. All right, just depends on what you're designing. Maybe I can do the same thing here and have another piece, right? And this is how you kind of compose your design. But it's a sketch, so it's loose and free, and I don't have to worry about making sure all the details are right. We can just rough it out. But again, just if you're doing this method, make sure you pay attention to the perspective that you're sketching in. Now, this is a fairly flat perspective, right? You can kind of see the lines here, but you could apply this to other sketches as well. Let me get some fresh paper. If I have some, I might have to go to my paper stash. All right, we have one more sheet before I go to my paper stash. So what I mean is, if you're trying to just explore and play with different perspectives, it doesn't hurt, for example, to do a few sketches like this where maybe these rectangles in perspective represent different outsoles of a shoe. This one's a little bit bent. Maybe I can do one that's a bit more bent here, right in the toe box of the shoe, and come up like that, right? This is another way of simplifying things and effectively roughing things out. And then 2 lines up to the back, connect these two. Maybe you have the throat of the shoe, we come down, and then to the front. You can simplify things quite literally this much, okay? And then when you're ready, sketch in the rest of your shoe, okay? Nice and rough, and then you can refine that, of course, okay? Like maybe this actually curves up, for example. But each of these is really just an opportunity. You can do things like throwing a straight line here, maybe an ellipse. Find the little things that work for you, but don't forget the perspective. All right, see, I still have the perspective there, and then a couple lines here like so. Now I have the toe box of this concept perhaps, and also some tooling like that. Can do a tongue on the shoe, whatever, right? So you can rough that stuff out. But with a sketch like this, I'm not too many steps removed from having a reasonable, decent concept sketch of a shoe in perspective. Now, I will tell you, if you're interested in footwear, you don't typically sketch your shoes in perspective, but it is fun to do. It's a fun challenge, I think. It's enjoyable, entertaining, and so forth. So it's up to you. All right, so that's when in doubt, rough it out. The next is light until you get it right. And probably the best way to show this is using like a gray marker. So let me grab my Copic marker here. I have a cool gray 3 marker. I have 2 of them just in case because sometimes they dry up. All right. So if I'm using this light until you get it right method, what I might do instead of sketching the structure of the shoe necessarily is just pretend that I'm drawing a shoe, and all the mistakes I make or explorations I make here are just part of this gray marker. Now you can see that the gray marker on this printer paper is fairly light. All right. And because it's light, when I decide to switch to, say, a pen sketch, that contrast from the pen is really going to help me out here, okay? So here I'm even sketching in a few design details, kind of taking some liberties and being a little bit expressive. I just like straps on shoes, so I'm going to throw a strap in here, and I like this line, so I'm just kind of emphasizing that a bit more right through. And then let's do some laces across, a little X, so straight across, and then an X. And you kind of have to think about where your laces are coming from so you can get the next X and so forth. All right, but just pay attention. If you're trying to do this, just, I would say, pay attention to, and let's give this some old school feel with maybe a little oval right on the side. Okay, maybe something like that, and some lines in here. I kind of like that idea, and I'll show you how this comes together. But you can just sketch lightly with a marker. Some people really like this method, and if you want to do it, more power to you. Let's try one of my pens I got from Japan. I love this pen. This is, I don't know what the name is, Tradio by Pilot, I believe. What is this? Pula Man. I need to double check, but this pen is really nice. All right, it's kind of like a fountain pen. All right, let's get back to it. So here, now that I have my gray lines in place, I can kind of just use these as a guide and sketch the lines I actually want. So like I said, here, for example, because the black pen has more contrast, as I sketch, these lines pop more on the page than, say, the gray lines, right? And you can kind of design and take liberties as you sketch, right? If I want to emphasize something on the tooling, or maybe show that, these are connected. Maybe there's a small part difference right there. We can show that, right? So the tooling is connected to this strap. Maybe I'll double over with the strap like so. And you can repeat this process and you can combine. So if at first I showed you, when in doubt, rough it out. But in this case, if you work light till you get it right, you can also incorporate that roughing out process. So these lines that I have here on this sketch, for example, I can use this even as an underlay as I am sketching with a new sheet of paper. And that way I have kind of a guide to having something a bit more clean. All right, there's my little logo there, and maybe we'll have a little piece for the lace right through there. But as you work, even with these overlaps of the laces, I might decide, okay, this outside one here needs to overlap, right? Meaning this lace comes in, and as I clean up these lines, I can make decisions. So even though I drew this kind of overlapping configuration there, I can now with my pen emphasize what I want to emphasize and then leave the rest. All right, so you can kind of be strategic about this and make sure you're drawing what you want to draw. And as you go through this exercise, you'll have the ability to get your idea, your sketch right by working light. All right. So I like this method when I'm doing certain things. I love drawing robots, for example. If you look at any of the old concept art from the Star Wars movies, Doug Chang, Ralph McQuarrie, you'll kind of see this technique, right? And for me, that's where I kind of first saw it. Plus, people like Scott Robertson would use it as well. And you can check that out and put another logo right there. And then, things like this midsection, I kind of just threw some marker stroke down, but I didn't really define what was happening. So I can continue to sketch here. And maybe this is some sort of ribbed structure that acts as a support for the athlete or person wearing the shoe, right where you might need that lateral support on the shoe. So you can go through this exercise, add your line weight, all the things I talked about before. I'm going to stop right here for today, and you can work quickly. So if you have an idea in your head, remember you have a couple options. You can work light until you get it right, or you can rough it out as you're trying to figure out what your design looks like. So the sketches you produce, okay, they don't have to be perfect all at once. This is you thinking through your design, your process, but just don't forget the perspective as you're working. All right, the important thing about perspective is that it helps make your idea relatable, especially if you're using a perspective that is familiar to the people looking at your work. All right. Well, thanks again for coming to another segment on this boot camp. We're almost to the point where I'll be showing you some marker stuff and kind of kicking off the rust again. So if you appreciate and enjoy this, be sure to give me a follow, subscribe, I suppose, on YouTube. I'm elsewhere on the internet as well. You can find me at sketchaday.com, just like this channel, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and so forth. Well, Facebook is just Sketch a Day, but in any case, I am there. And donations are always welcome if you're curious about that. Send me a message. I don't have everything set up now. And another great way to support and also support yourself is to pick up a copy of my books. This one is Sketch Every Damn Day. And as the name suggests, it is 52 weeks of lessons, demos, and inspiration for you to get better at sketching. All right. And if you're just starting out, the Perspective Drawing Guide here is another good book that I think helps demystify some things about perspective drawing. I try to present it in a reasonable blend of technical information, but also just how to perceptually and perceptively draw in perspective so you can communicate your ideas more powerfully. All right, thank you for watching. And if you have any comments and suggestions, be sure to leave them. Much love to you and keep sketching. Sketch every damn day. I will see you next time. Bye bye now.